Hi, I'm James Eade of the Eade Foundation, but you can call me Jim. And the Eade Foundation is dedicated to building communities through chess. So if you're part of a community, you're never alone. And if you can get online, you can access the online chess community. But if you can't get online, you can build a community wherever you are, whatever country you're in, whatever language you speak. It just doesn't matter because we can help you start a chess community wherever you are. And when you build your own community, then everyone that's part of that community never has to feel alone again. So that's the purpose of the Eade Foundation. But today we have the chess files. The answers are out there. And today we had a question from one of my friends, because I have been emphasizing that we want to build a community. We want to put the chess community in touch with the business community so that the business community can know that the chess community is worth advertising to, attracting chess customers to buy their products. It's good for their business. So I've been talking about the dollar store, the Fort Bragg dollar store at fbds.com. And as a matter of fact, why don't I just change this scroll at the bottom of the screen to show that? So if you go to this URL and make some purchases there, you'll find quality products at inexpensive prices. But when you check out, use the discount code CHESS, and they'll know that the chess community sent you. So how do we build this relationship? So I had a friend of mine ask me, well, Jim, I'm not sure exactly how to do that. So I thought I would walk him through it today. And his name is Cole Erskine. Cole, thank you for joining the show today. So good to see you.
Hi, Jim. Nice to be here.
Oh, good. And so your question was about this dollar store, how to purchase online. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen that we use. Let me just take a moment to do that because I'm mechanically not the best. My producer is not helping me. And so now, can you see that screen?
Yes.
Okay. And so can you pull up a screen that's similar to this?
Yep, got it.
You got it. Okay. So now you can see the dollar store, and now you can see all sorts of options. Like, what kind of thing were you looking for today to buy?
Well, I was just browsing a little bit, and I noticed they have quite a few interesting hardware items.
Hardware. Okay, let's go to hardware. All right, it's loading. Okay, so what were you looking for in hardware? Hardware and tools, batteries, gardening?
Well, it's all those battery options they have there are, those are some useful coin cell batteries and smoke alarm batteries. Those are always nice to have in a drawer somewhere.
Okay.
The electronic wipes, keep your screens clean.
Yeah.
And the even the touch-up markers, that's all on the same page. Those are all nice things to have. The super glue, epoxy, quite a few options in here.
Okay, so I went into the hardware and option from the home page, and I'm looking at the category batteries. Do you want me to back up and go to someplace else?
Oh, you can just maybe click all three of those batteries on that page.
This one? Quick view?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's take a quick view of it. And so do you want me to add this to my cart?
Yeah, the 2032, that's a really common, probably the most common coin cell battery.
Okay, so I'm going to add that to my cart. You're going to add it to yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you get $5 credit when you first sign up. So you signed up today, right?
Yes.
Okay. So with $25 worth of purchases, you will get free shipping, which and this is why I like shopping online, because it's shipped right to your door. You don't have to leave your house, especially during the shelter-in-place times that we're in. My preferred way of shopping. Okay, so now we're going to try to get up to $25. And with the $5 discount, we're really only going to spend $20. So what else would you like to buy today?
Oh, how about the touch-up markers on the same page. The furniture touch-up markers.
I actually bought those before, but I could use more. Okay.
I think they're at the top of that page.
Oh,
I'm
not sure where you're looking because this is the hardware page.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, they're at the top of my page. My page is a little different.
Oh.
But
so I'm going to go to home, and this is definitely under hardware. And there they are.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
So I'm going to add one to my cart.
Sounds good.
Okay. And now we can go back to shopping. All right. You like these electronic wipes too?
Yeah.
Okay. Add that. We're going to add that to the cart. And we're back to shopping. So what else would you be willing to or interested in buying today?
Well, like you, I have a dog or two. So maybe we go to the pet section.
Oh.
See what our pets might want to eat or play with.
Okay. Hardware health. I'm not sure where the pet section is. Can you coach me there?
If you click on more categories. There you go.
This is perfect for us. You know, I don't think there's always something I find on these pages, and all of a sudden I'm now on a new page I've never seen before, which I should have known about, but I'm not the kind of guy, I guess, that clicks on more. So, okay, what are you looking at here?
Well, let me see.
There's a lot.
Yeah, we got toys, we got chews.
My dog can't chew anymore. She's 13, so I can't do the chews.
Okay.
The grooming or toys are fine. The nylon dog leash looks good. You probably have something like that already. I do. The dog safety light. This is all cool.
Yeah, maybe.
We don't have
one of the toy balls or something. The LED ball toy.
Okay, what want to get?
Yeah, that looks like fun.
And we're back to shopping. Okay. Anything else on the pets section of this wonderful site?
Unless you want the pet wipes.
Let's see.
At the top.
I'm going to take a quick view of those so I can see what this is. All-purpose fresh scent. Okay, for daily use. So it's veterinarian approved. So this is like my dog gets muddy a lot. How about yours?
Yeah, mine try and stay fairly clean, but you know, at the beach it's hard. So
yeah,
they go to the beach a lot. So yeah, it'd be handy just to throw in your car.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so let's get one of these. Okay, so we're still a long ways from $20, I think. You know, so what else do we want to go? Let's go back to home page because we've done our dog duty. We got the hardware, and we could always get some more hardware if you want. But do you do any CBD supplements?
I do not.
You do not. Okay, so let's think about what's best sellers. I'm just curious.
I'm sorry?
I'm looking at the best sellers because
the best sellers. Okay.
Do you need more face masks?
Oh, you can always use more face masks, right?
All right, so let's add them to the cart. Let's take a quick view of these and look at them. These are blue disposable face masks. And
yeah, those are the kind I wear. So
yeah, that's me too. So okay, let's add those to the cart.
All right.
Okay, and $5. $5 for 10. How many does one mask cost? Do you think?
Well, looks like 50 cents a piece.
It looks like 50 cents a piece. You do the math. Good job. Okay.
Maybe we should do a few of those to get up to our $20 or $25 order and so we can get free shipping.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to go back in there. Let's view cart first and see how close we are. Let's see. The shopping cart, we have 7 items, $19.69. So what do you think? We got to get to 25, $5 off, 20 bucks total to get all this stuff. 7 items already. Let's look. You know, I do the Excel patch because, you know, with the chess playing, I move the pieces so rapidly. I often my wrist gets sore, and so I have to put a patch on it. But I don't know. Do you want? Let's see. What else here? Probiotics. Those are always good. Avocado facial mask. I don't think we're in for that. I don't. Does your wife use facial masks? Mine does not.
She gets facials, but doesn't do the mask.
Yeah. Irish Spring. Oh, it's calling out to me, but no.
You know what Irish Spring is good for is to put under your car. If you park your car outside, it keeps the rats out.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So we have 2 cars. So this is a 2-piece moisturizer. Do you think just buying one would get 2 bars? So I've got 2 cars, so that would work, right?
Sure.
Let's add that to the cart.
Yeah, a mechanic told us that, and it's worked really well ever since then, because the rats chewed up, you know, the wiring in a car we had parked in the driveway. So it was a very expensive lesson to learn. But the Irish Spring really works well at keeping them out.
You know, that just rings a bell. I have heard that before, but I never actually used it for that. And it's not like, you know, I live in Menlo Park, California, and, you know, we're not supposed to have rats on my side of the town, but we do. So
even at the Eid Mansion, huh?
yeah, exactly. How about this? How about we order? Let's see. What do you want to order? We got to get just like $3-4 more.
All right, $4 more.
We can go back to the home and there's new arrivals. Are we interested in any new arrivals? They called Deep Shade.
New arrivals. Yes. How about a super 3D puzzle? That should get us over the $25 mark.
Where do you see that?
Well, on my page, it was at the top, but there's a lot of $4 items on here, so we can probably. Yeah, there's a puzzle. PJ Masks puzzle.
Oh.
Or there's a super 3D puzzle too.
Which one do you want?
How about super 3D?
All right. That should get us over $25. Okay, let's view the cart. Okay. So this is the other thing that I wanted you to know. We're going to enter the discount code. I just clicked on discount codes. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want you to enter chess.
Okay.
Okay. And this might be the interesting thing. I don't have a referral code or anything else, and you will be awarded $26 store rewards. So, and I didn't log in. Silly me. So you can proceed to checkout now.
Okay.
And I'm going to sign in. I'm sorry, I forgot to do this. I should have signed in.
You know, I think it's not going to let me use the discount code because I've already got the $5 in store credits.
Oh, okay. But anyways, that's how you do it. If you use the $5 store credits, the next time you come back, you would go to this screen when you're checking out and use the discount code, and you can see my code is already pre-entered chess.
Right.
And then you would get those awards replied ever since. So now you're taking advantage of your $5 first time buyer.
Right.
Okay. So now I'm going to come back to you, and I am going to stop sharing this screen. Okay, and it's just us now. And Cole, thank you for asking that question and allowing me to help walk you through how to order from the Fort Bragg Dollar Store. And you can see the URL scrolling across the bottom of our screen. And when you go to the checkout, you want to conclude your transaction, you use the discount code CHESS. And that will tell the business community that the chess community is worth paying attention to, worth advertising to, worth reaching out to get more customers. So you've really been of service to me today, and I think to the chess community in general. And I was just wondering, is there anything else you would like to ask besides that problem?
Well, recently I've been reading about, you know, some of the early official and unofficial chess champions. And the first, I guess you could consider both unofficial and official, Wilhelm Steinitz.
Yes.
Apparently, a real pet peeve of his was unsound sacrifices in that romantic era of chess play. And in fact, I was reviewing a game of his when he was, you know, in his 20s, and he himself was a real flashy player. They called him the Austrian Morphy, as you know.
Yes.
And but he lost a game in 1866 to Henry Bird, and Bird committed a really unsound sacrifice on the 17th move, and went on to win the game against Steinitz.
That must annoy them.
Yeah, it must have really stuck in his craw because, you know, later in life, that the unsound sacrifice was such a pet peeve of his. And, you know, at my level, I see it happening all the time. And usually I'm the one committing it. But, but how can you teach, you know, beginners especially, what is a sound versus an unsound sacrifice? What constitutes a sound sacrifice, I guess?
Thank you for asking that question. And, you know, I didn't have my producer online because we haven't been getting along very well. And he's telling me that I committed the cardinal sin of interviews, and I haven't asked you the basic questions of, Cole, where were you born? Where do you live now? And how'd you get started in chess?
Well, I was born and mostly raised in Texas, although we lived, I believe, 16 different places in my first 18 years of life. My dad was a third generation oil business man, as they would say. And so we moved around quite frequently. I, you know, played chess against my little brother as a kid, but I never really got into it until 2002 was when I started a mobile gaming company, and our first product was a mobile chess game on Verizon. And it actually went on to become the second most popular mobile game in the country. In 2005, believe it or not, only behind Tetris.
Oh, yeah.
And
Tetris
so
board.
after a year or two of selling that mobile game, I thought I should probably learn something about the game of chess. And so I started playing and studying and going to tournaments with who was then a good mutual friend of ours, Art Wang.
Yeah, sorry.
So yeah,
Art
so
was a
he
chess
taught me.
master back when there were a few chess masters. Yes.
Right. Yeah. And we had a great time going to tournaments together, and I learned quite a bit from Art about, all about chess. So,
The three of us actually went golfing one time. That was pretty
yes.
fun too.
And that was in payment for chess lessons from
Yeah.
you as well as from Art. And yeah,
We got a
nice
free
day at
round out
Pebble
of it.
Beach.
That was definitely worth it. But where do you live now, Cole?
I used to live very close to you in Portola Valley, as you know, but now I live in Carmel Valley. We moved here just not even a year and a half ago. So.
Uh-huh. And have you settled in and started a chess community there?
We have. In fact, I was coming down here pretty regularly for the last 15 years, and there's a pretty active chess group at the Carmel Foundation. And of course, it's had to move online, but it's still a pretty active group. So if you know anybody in Carmel, send them my way, and we can get them into our group. We have a weekly meeting, and sometimes we play against computers. Sometimes we learn about old chess masters. Sometimes we do puzzles. We keep it fun.
Yeah, that's great. And so this question that you're asking, the Steinitzian kind of rage against the unsound combination, is that going to be part of your instruction to this community of chess players in Carmel Valley? Do you
I
think?
think so. If I can, encapsulate it in a digestible form without having to analyze like 5 different lines of potential defense. We usually work with a screen, an analysis board, basically, on the computer where I can draw lines and circles and people like that. It makes it very easy to visualize.
I used to use demo boards in person, and I was talking to Grandmaster Joel Benjamin, and he was like, "Oh, that is so 5 minutes ago. Use this online stuff where you can draw lines and do all the things you're talking about. It's so much quicker to reset the board, to do all those things." So, I've got to get into the
moving the pieces is so much faster too. And then you just click the revert button to move all the pieces back where they originally were, as opposed to having to physically move all the pieces.
It makes perfect sense to me. And so one day I'll join the 21st century and be with you guys. But the thing is that one of the things that one of the great players that I met when I was young was international master Danny Kopek. And Danny had this great way of presenting combinations, because that's what we're really talking about, tactics. One of the elements of chess, is material. I call it the unit of force, because if we call it in chess, because we like to be special, we call it material. But if one side has more material and all of the things are equal, then that side with more material has an advantage. And very often that material advantage can be converted into victory, into a win. So the idea is the tactics, the art of combination, the ways to force your opponents to make certain moves and end up with the loss of material, say, or a checkmate. These are the things that you really want to focus on, especially when you're a beginner, because tactics at an early stage will decide 99% of the games. So getting better at tactics, and what Kopek would do is show a position where it worked and show a position where it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be similar, but there would be something very different between the two positions that it was subtle enough that it wouldn't necessarily leap off the board at you. But one of them was an accurate combination, a combination that could be calculated to victory, or to so much of a material imbalance that you would assume the victory would follow. And then he would show another one that was very similar and try the same idea, but it had a fatal flaw. Because one of the things in tactics is the ability to calculate accurately. Now, this is like a muscle. You can flex a muscle and exercise it, and you make it stronger. The ability to calculate is all the same kind of thing. When you start out, your ability to calculate correctly and accurately is somewhat limited. But the more you concentrate on developing that skill, the stronger you become at it. When you started playing chess in 2005, your ability to calculate was probably not very sophisticated.
Correct.
And it's probably a lot better now.
A lot better than it was.
Yeah. So that's what we want to concentrate on, is progress, because I can't calculate the way Magnus can calculate, or the way that Joel Benjamin could calculate. I couldn't calculate as well as Danny Kopek could calculate, but I could calculate better than the majority of players that I played. So this is especially at the earlier levels in chess, the ability to calculate properly will give you a big edge. And so I would say, if you're going to present them with an idea of what is sound combination versus an unsound combination, give them an example of each. You know,
will do.
Something that looks similar. And Kopek, I can remember he would do something like have two rooks versus queen, and show you a position where the two rooks would win, show you a position where the queen would win. So if the rooks were coordinated, the rooks had the advantage. But if they were discoordinated, the queen could have an advantage, like give check and pick off one of the hanging rooks, something like that.
Right.
So you get, and the other idea is, I've talked to you about this before, is sometimes you make a move and there's, you think there's two possible defenses, but there's really three. And you've overlooked the third one, and the third one saves the game, and your combination goes flat. And you go, oh no, I didn't see that. Well, that is such a every chess player has had that experience where you just didn't see a possible defense. And that's just part of that's, take your licks, move on, because that's going to happen. That happens to everybody because you don't see everything. And sometimes out of desperation, your opponent will go, well, I want to play this, I can't. I want to play this, I can't. Oh, I can't figure out. Oh, maybe I can do this. And you didn't see it because you weren't so desperate. And it was just the desperation of the defender that inspired this inintuitive move that saves the day for him. So that's part of chess. That's part of the beauty of chess, although you appreciate it more when you're on the winning side than the losing side. But it is part of the struggle of chess. When it's a competition. It's you're putting your abilities versus another person's. And, on any given Sunday, this is what I would tell myself when I would be playing someone stronger than I was. On any given Sunday, anyone could win. It's not a foregone conclusion. If you're sitting down against a stronger player, that on that day, you can't win. You can. That's the possibility. However improbable it is, it's a possibility. And so stay confident. Stay confident in your own ability to calculate. And if you think they've made a mistake, act on it. Sometimes, rarely, but sometimes they've actually made a mistake.
Right.
So, is there anything else that you'd like to talk about? Because we're coming up to, my producer's in my ear again, we're coming up to the half hour, and but I'd like to, because you were so kind to come in and help me with the show. I'd like to give you a couple more minutes to ask another question.
I do have one scholastic student who I taught to play chess. when he was about 5 years old, and he's 12 or 13 now. And he plays regularly on chess.com. I play with him, but only correspondence mode. So I'll have a few days to think. But, he's about 1,500 in classical chess time controls, about the same in correspondence. But I have a question, because I just noticed the other day, in less than a year, he's gone from a puzzle rating on chess.com of 700 something to 2,518.
Whoa.
2,518 is his current puzzle rating on chess.com. And that blew me away. And, I actually went into some, of the puzzles he's solving, and he's solving them in generally less than a minute. And because they, give you the details, and but it's not translating so much to victories in his online play. He's extremely patient when he's doing these puzzles, I know, because it's so easy to move quickly and get it wrong, as you know. And but in his online play, as much as I tried to teach him to be patient and sit on his hands, so to speak. In fact, I coached him for his first tournament, his first scholastic tournament, and his results were, this is pretty recently, his results were pretty disappointing. I think he only won 1 game out of 4. I was expecting him to win the whole thing, but his knowledge of strategic concepts is not as strong as it should be, of course, because he's really only been playing really actively the last year, I guess I would say.
Right.
But
well, that's a fascinating question, Cole.
Yeah.
And I there's a couple of things that occur to me off the top of my head. And one is I don't know the puzzles that he's solving on chess.com, but if there's a pattern to them, pattern recognition is fundamental to chess. And if you see something that's that looks like something else that you've seen that pattern before, you can recognize it instantly, especially when you're young, and solve it very quickly. So the pattern recognition, I would suspect he's solving these problems he's seen before, something like it. So it's a pattern that he recognizes and knows what to do. And in a competition of playing against somebody else, they may be playing moves that give him different patterns he hasn't seen before, and patterns that do not suggest to him what the proper move is. So that could be because that is a real discrepancy, 1,500 to 2,500. And so I would think that they're feeding him puzzles that he has already recognized. He has that pattern recognition in his brain already, and allows him to solve them quickly. And during his games, he's seeing things that are unfamiliar, and he has no pattern recognition. And then he's at more of a loss for what to do in that particular pattern. The other thing is that these young kids, especially, I can remember back, because I was told, and I probably have told you this, that a strong player once told me to sit on my hands before I moved, because my first instinct was usually wrong. My first impulse. And when you're young, impulsivity is something that you have to conquer. You have to not play the first thing that pops into your head. Chess is a little bit more complicated than that. Generally speaking, especially when your level of competition rises, you are not going to get away with the first impulse. So chess teaches young players to postpone immediate gratification and to pause before acting. You want to respond to your opponent's move. You don't want to react to it. And this is a life lesson, because this is something that can be so profitable in many situations. Like your first instinct is to fight or flight, maybe, and you want to be thinking in your frontal lobes, not your amygdala. So you want to be able to think it through. and think, what is the, okay, my first impulse is to do that. But if you sit and pause, you go, oh, if I do that, he does that, and then that's bad for me. So what if I did this first and then that? Yeah, that's the ticket. I do this first, then that. And or I might have to take 2 moves before I can do what I really want to do. And after the first move I make, he might make a totally unpredicted move, and I have a better move than what I originally intended. So
Right.
these are the thought process, and especially true of kids, of, you know, up until a certain age where they've learned the life lesson of thinking before. And this is not something that you can just tell them. You know, they've got to kind of learn it for yourself. You can tell them so their awareness grows, and they go, yeah, I made an impulsive move. I made the first move that I thought of, and I lost. And losing is an important lesson. You want to study your losses and learn, why did I lose that game? Because actually, I'm 2,500 on this puzzle thing, and you know, I'm better than this. So, you know, and the pain of a loss can be used to discourage you or to encourage you to do better. And the coach's role is to encourage, help encourage them. You know,
Right.
not to say bad move, stupid, but you know, that can work.
Like Art would tell me.
Yes.
What are you thinking?
Yeah. I can hear his voice. Yeah, that might be okay for an adult, but it might not be the best for a kid.
Yeah, there's other things he would tell me reviewing my games that, you know, are not, you know, suitable for airtime.
Yeah. Well, Art had his style, but you know, but he was a great player, and he was a great player before there were a lot of great players. So, you know, I give him all the credit in the world. We both miss him, and it's one of the things that, you know, you can deal with adults in a different way than you can deal with kids, because the adults have learned life lessons. You can laugh at Art, you know, when he's telling you how stupid you are, you know, because you know you're not stupid, but a kid might not have that confidence. So you don't want to tell a kid he's stupid, but you do want to inspire them to get better, to get stronger. And part of getting stronger is to identify your weaknesses. What are my weaknesses as a young child? I was, you know, 15, say, when I started playing chess, but it was the impulse to move quickly. I hated to hear my clock ticking. I wanted to move. And it was also some arrogance, because, you know, you thought for 20 moves before you moved, and boom, I thought for 20 seconds. You know, and you got to get out of the arrogance mode. You got to get out of the impulsivity. You know, these are the things that you learn through chess. By playing chess, it teaches you, because you run up against checkmate, and there's no arguing with checkmating. You know, you get checkmated and you go, well, you can't say, well, I should have, I could have. You got checkmated. You lost. So face it. And the next time you sit down, you want to be extending your hand in victory and gracefully. You know, but you don't want to be a good loser as much as you want to be a good winner.
Right.
And then it's self-reinforcing. You find out what works, and you keep doing it, and you keep getting better until you plateau, as I have. And, you know, you get to a certain point where you go, I don't want to play the kids anymore. What's the next senior tournament?
Today.
Yeah. Well, Cole, thank you very much for joining. Sure. I'm going to say goodbye to you now. And thank you so much. You know, we want you to go to this URL that's scrolling across the bottom of your screen, the Fort Bragg Dollar Store, the fortbraggdollarstore.com. And when you check out, use the discount code CHESS. You'll find quality products at inexpensive prices. I have, and Cole just did. So thanks again, Cole. And sure. I'll be in touch. Okay? All right. So this is the EAD Foundation broadcasting the chess files. The answers are out there. And what we're all about is building communities. Because if you build a community, you find out that you're never alone. So keep coming back. It's Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you next time.